Democrat primary results here in Colorado. Scream about that. We should be screaming about our elections are rigged. They're fraudulent. They're cheating. It's awful. And tie it into Black Lives Matter and defund the police. Because how are we going to affect change legislatively if the elections are fixed? How are we going to vote to defund the police and reallocate that money for social services if we don't even get a fair vote? This is how we got to tie that in. All these fraudulent primaries are coming. We're seeing all these things. This happened all throughout the Democratic primary. People are like, oh, they just let it slide and Trump's so evil and bad and they're going to give the Democratic Party a pass. You cannot give the Democratic Party a pass. You want to defund the police? In Los Angeles, right? I've used this example before. We have $3.1 billion of the city's total operating budget goes for the LAPD. 54% of our budget. Who's in charge of this city? Democrats. Eric Garcetti is a Democrat. Jackie Lacey, the district attorney, will not prosecute cops. She is a Democrat. So if we have fraudulent elections, how can we even vote these people out? How can we even vote on a ballot measure that says, let's cut the let's say there's just a ballot measure that was going to cut LAPD's budget in half and take $1.5 million and give it to homeless, drug treatment, job outreach, schools, affordable housing, all this stuff, right? And then the $1.5 billion that is kept for the police department, that gets restructured where we traffic officers don't carry guns. They pull you over and say, hey, you were going too fast. We want to keep you safe. So you're not scared when you're getting pulled over because they don't even have a gun. They just have a little citation, little fine, go to traffic school because we want you to be a better driver, because when you're a better driver and you drive more safe, it's safe for you. It's safe for everybody. So that's what the traffic laws are for public safety, right? So that's what you do. You have homeless outreach people that are EMTs and trained in mental illness. So cops aren't doing that. You have cops that actually do police work. Organized crime, domestic violence, bank robbery, sex trafficking rings, provided the cops aren't participating in it, like the Milwaukee police. So, there's a lot of ways to restructure, but that's my point. And that should be allowed. We should be allowed to vote on that. And our system is broken. So this notion, especially by liberals or Democrats who are like, well, look, the Democratic Party's not perfect. No, you should be screaming just as loud about the corruption, because how are you going to get police reforms? How are you going to vote to get civilian oversight of our police department so that the cops that murdered George Floyd in Minneapolis, how are you going to hold them accountable if you can't even get a fair election to do so? This is why people, this end police brutality, defund the police, Black Lives Matter protests are critical, but everyone needs to understand how everything is connected. And if we don't, we're going to miss it. Because they're going to just try to they're already starting in LA. They're trying to just hand out little reform measures, little table scrap reforms. And so you should be screaming for free elections. You should be. Why can't we vote online? Oh, it's too hackable. Really? I can submit my taxes. Every single American can file electronically through the IRS's website. So they figured out how to make that safe. It has your social security number and all this sensitive financial information. That's safe. That's not hacked all the time. That's completely safe. You have all these banks, huge banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, all these massive banks doing literally trillions of dollars in transactions every day, and that's safe. How often is a bank hacked? I mean, if that was happening on a regular, none of us would be banking online. We would all be like, no, I'm good. They figured that out. They figure out all these safe, secure ways to manage money and our taxes, but they can't seem to do a safe, fair, legal, unhackable way for everybody to vote. Imagine that. If instead of Congress voting on this and that, the people voted. Imagine that. There's a way to do all this. They keep telling us it's impossible because this current system, it's not It's broken for the 99%, but it works perfectly for the ruling class. This is what they want. So if you want to defund the police, which I support, if you want to have police oversight, you want to prosecute cops that murder unarmed people, then you need to be fighting equally for free and fair elections. And currently, they are completely rigged. They purge votes. They use electronic voting machines that they know are hackable. They keep hackable machines in there. It's by design. So this is why I'm trying to connect all of the dots for everybody and see this. You want to vote down private prisons? Then you need complete election reform. The reason we have a for-profit prison system is we have a deliberately broken election system where money can get in, where private prison companies can buy politicians, and they buy politicians in both parties. You understand this? I hope you really understand this, because you need to get this. And you need to talk to your other activist friends. When you're talking on social media, relate all of these together. Get out of this either or thing. This is all connected. The reason systemic racism is allowed to continue this long is because of this deliberately broken election system. We should have voted these idiots out years ago, decades ago. Joe Biden shouldn't be our candidate. The guy who wrote the 1994 crime bill. Trump shouldn't be president. Can you imagine if we had a presidential election where there was like 3 or 4 candidates and we all liked them and we're like, this is my first choice. And we all get to, what if we all got to vote on all these bills and there had a limit of like 5,000 words per bill? You couldn't pack in all this extra bullshit. And we all got to read them and we all got to vote online. And there was a deadline to vote and we were all registered vote and we could vote from anywhere in the world as long as we were American citizens. There's a reason it's not that easy. There's a reason millions of people can vote for American Idol every goddamn Sunday. But we can't seem to figure out how Americans vote on their own country and their own democracy and the allocation of our tax money. We can't seem to figure that out. Weird. Weird. Shave your knuckles for justice. Share and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button and the subscribe button, even if you've done it before, because they're unsubscribing, many of you, every day. Watch the ads all the way through. If you click skip ad, I don't get paid. Also, support us at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Rockfin.com is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. All my videos are on Rockfin ad-free. Thanks for watching.